The same thing.
What's up?
Huh?
Backpacks?
Yes. Wait, which one?
Let's go.
Yes.
We're gonna move it so people can take a seat.
No
I
problem.
have this is your seat. I reserve. We have a reserve seat.
Awesome.
Do you need anything out of it? So I'm gonna throw it towards the back by the coolers.
Nope, don't need it no more. Thank you, man.
What's video capture device 2? You have that overlay over video capture device 1. Whatever 2 is taking precedence right now. So
Wait.
You gotta put that on top.
All right. Now let's work on it. Let's go to settings.
There it is. Is it doing that on its own?
Yeah, it automatically zooms in on the speaker.
Yeah, but then it's not gonna pick up.
That way.
Wow.
Huh? No. I can see you.
So moving on its own? I don't.
It is.
I'll take it. Yeah, for me, obviously. Wow. Oh, you think? To me? Yeah. So lucky.
Oh, it's like lagging.
Please, one of the stream's always behind.
Okay, what's going on, man? So really listen. We just not one test. Big dog. Yeah, trainer. Get it right. He done it. You get it. What's past silver? Talk about way of life. Say one day on life.
Hey, cut! Hey!
Damn, shot.
I remember.
The screen's unlocked, right?
Huh?
The screen's unlocked, right?
My screen? What time you got? Did you start clearing
Yeah.
on my phone?
Not yet. No.
Is it still unlocked?
Don't watch me.
My car drives everywhere, man. Because limited range, man. You got life's good. Life is good. I've been good. Blessed.
Why is the camera turned?
I've been taking a love one. Everybody, listen up! Just as a reminder, nobody can stand on that wall, and nobody but K9 can stand on that wall. What do you say? Go. Yes.
Wait, are you recording the front of the whole formation?
Well, see, though, whole formation.
Okay.
Always want to do machine. Oh,
To the window.
Say your
All the equipment in a house.
it's so nice.
Last but not least,
Captain then. 2 OT, bigger captain.
we're gonna go see what it's at.
Bar.
I don't think you can take a bad photo though either.
Oh, stop it.
Get in here.
Maybe she's standing.
All right. The audio.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We're about to begin the ceremony. We also ask that all cell phones and electronic devices be turned off at this time. Be seated.
Am I gonna be right?
Okay, good. Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Technical Sergeant Quentin Gray, and I will be your narrator for today's Change of Command. On behalf of the men and women of the 96th Security Forces Squadron, I'd like to welcome you to today's ceremony. This morning, we will conduct a change of command, passing leadership and responsibility of the 96th Security Forces Squadron from Lieutenant Colonel Robert R. Shaw, Jr. to Major John E. Clements III. The presiding officer for today's event is the commander, 96th Mission Support Group, Colonel Kenneth L. Black. During today's ceremony, the orders given by the commander of the troops will be for the formation only, although proper protocol does require that we stand at certain times, and all are reminded to stand during the national anthem. At that time, we ask our civilian guests to join us by placing their right hand over their heart. The change of command ceremony is deeply rooted in military history and dates back to the reign of King Frederick during 18th century Persia. Its purpose is to allow the unit members to witness the formality of the handing of command from one officer to another. It has long been custom for the departing commander to pass the unit colors to the arriving commander. The unit colors represents all the unit stands for and is symbolic of the organization's achievements. In accepting the unit colors, the arriving commander accepts the awesome responsibility of leading the organization into the future, successfully carrying out the mission, and taking care of the members assigned to the unit. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party, the presentation of the colors, the playing of the national anthem, and the invocation by Chaplain Lee.
Squadron, take heart! Sir, I present the squadron.
Present the colors. And by color. Says hunt. For hunt. For word hunt. Mark. Son. Come. Hope. Present. Hope.
Oh. Go. Go. It's turn. Park.
Ready? Hey!
Let us bow our heads. Let us pray. O Lord, our God, we thank you for the blessings of this day, for a country founded on liberty, and for people who will defend it with their very lives. We stand in the company of such great men and women in this very ceremony. Thank you, Lord, for each person standing with us today and the many others beyond the 96th Security Forces Squadron who stand for freedom. But our attention now goes to Lieutenant Colonel Robert Shaw and Major John Clements. Lord, you have brought them both to this place and in our lives. We thank you for their service and leadership, and we ask for your blessings upon them. Grant them favor in their transition to new responsibilities. Give them insight for their coming challenges where they can turn any negatives into a positive. Bless them with strength and endurance in leading others to a mission executed in excellence. Be with us all, O Lord, so that we may stand in honor as we continue to defend this beautiful country day and night. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We'd like to take this opportunity to recognize our special guest joining us today. Lieutenant Colonel Shaw's wife, Deborah. Major Clements' wife, Liz. Major Clements' children, son Eddie, daughter Ava, son Abram, and daughter Aria. We'd also like to recognize our special guest joining us today. The Commander, 96th Test Wing, Brigadier General Scott Kane. The Commander, 96th Maintenance Group, Colonel David Moreland. The Commander, 919th Special Operations Mission Support Group, Colonel Scott Stewart. We'd also like to welcome all commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, local community leaders, and fellow police officers. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce today's presiding officer, the commander of the 96th Mission Support Group, Colonel Kenneth L. Black.
Got to put my glasses on because I can't read anymore on the fonts at 18.5. But that's just one of the challenges. Good enough. I'm really happy to see everybody here. I think today is a fantastic day for the Security Forces Squad, really the partnership with the community. And so I hope I do it justice in terms of some of my comments, because when you look at security forces and what's on their plate, it seems simplistic at first, but as you drill down and look at all the scenarios that they have to handle day in and day out, it's a daunting task, and for me to try and capture it, it was difficult, and so I did my best. So first of all, I just want to say good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 96th Security Forces Squadron Change of Command. We'll celebrate the successes of Lieutenant Colonel Rob Shaw and welcome the addition of Major John Clements, who will be taking the helm of the Air Force Material Command's largest Security Forces Squadron. Before I continue, I just want to recognize the responsibility and trust that falls on an individual when they are selected for command, especially for a unit as diverse as the 96th Security Forces Squadron, and acknowledge the fact that both of these officers have now been selected to command multiple times. But I'll discuss more about that in a moment. With that, it is my honor to preside over today's ceremony. And first, I want to take a moment to welcome Colonel Shaw's wife, Debbie. I also want to acknowledge Major Clements' family, his wife, Liz, and his family, his 4 children. Eddie, Eva, Abram, and Arya. So I'm certainly happy you guys are able to be here and be part of Team Eglin. I also want to recognize General Kane, Colonel Moreland, Colonel Stewart, the Woodcocks, both Colonel Woodcock and Colonel Woodcock. I appreciate you guys attending. I know you're fans of the squadron, so I appreciate your support, and I know they do too. I also want to thank the commanders, the chiefs, the men and women of the Security Forces Squadron, the friends and family in attendance. Thank you for celebrating with us. You know, these ceremonies are only possible with the professional teams that execute them. And so thank you to Eglin Honor Guard. Thank you to Chaplain Lee for the invocation, Tech Sergeant Gray, and the rest of the Security Forces Squadron team members. Thank you for an outstanding job. Today marks an important milestone in both of these officers' careers, but as we transition command of the 96th Security Forces Squadron, I want to touch on what they support. So before I discuss the 96th Test Wing or the Mission Support Group, or even what makes up the Security Forces Squadron, a unit that has members spread across the base and range at multiple operating locations, and what functions the unit includes and or provides, I want to emphasize the scale of the customer footprint in and around the Eglin complex. Eglin is comprised of 9 wings, 4 wing equivalents, and 34 associated units. Although Eglin Air Force Base is not designated as a joint base, it definitely has a joint flavor. We're home to the Army's 6th Ranger Battalion, the final training hurdle becoming an Army Ranger. The 7th Special Forces Group, which is comprised of Army Special Force Green Berets, focusing on operations on Central and South America, but they have members deployed all around the world. The Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal School, which is the sole school for providing explosive ordnance disposal training for members from all services, Army, Air Force, Navy, and Marines, called Eglin Home. The Space's 20th Space Control Squadron is responsible for tracking objects, and there are multiple other service partners, too many to name. In all, there are over 92,000 personnel, retirees, and dependents that look to Eglin for support. The 96th Test Wing is the host organization charged with supporting the organizations. Additionally, it's also a test and evaluation center for the Air Force air-delivered weapons, navigation and guidance systems, command and control systems, and Air Force Special Operations Command systems. In short, the 96th Test Wing is tests the weapons and capabilities that will be used in tomorrow's wars. Supporting these units is the Mission Support Group, made up of roughly 2,200 personnel, and what has been described to me as the heart and soul of the 96th Test Wing. The group is comprised of 4 squadrons. The 96th Logistics Readiness Squadron provides supply, fuel, transportation, and deployment support to the Eglin complex. Our Communications Squadron provides connectivity for Eglin's members throughout, providing members support through radio, network, and telephony support, along with frequency coordination, which is a huge responsibility given the nature of the test mission here. And then our Force Support Squadron, which is made up of roughly 700 personnel, tasked with providing administrative support for both inbound and outbound civilian and military members, food service support, fitness support, mortuary support, and potentially, most of all, our child care support, among other areas. And finally, this brings me to our Security Forces Squadron. And Colonel Shaw has led a team comprised of over 450 military and civilian defenders, which are tasked with supporting the Wing's #1 priority of defending the base. Within that umbrella, the Security Forces team supports, in parallel, but equally important, 2 lines of effort: base defense and law enforcement for the main base, several geographically separated units, along with 724 square miles of range space and 152 miles of shoreline, which is a challenging task given our geographic location and the number of people that flock to this area for vacation but aren't familiar with the geographic makeup. Based on the size of the installation, we have at any given time up to 80 defenders, providing base defense at any of the 9 gates for roaming patrols, plus filling the role of security teams assigned to the flag line, ensuring the safety of roughly $17 billion in assets and personnel. Whether it's stopping a potential hostile gate runner or fence jumper, emergency on the range or flight line, the team is well versed and prepared to handle any scenario. Supplementing the roles of the flight, supporting the base is our Sierra flight. Our Special Missions flight augments many of the missions provided by the flight day to day, but also provides coastal defense, prisoner transport, and other unique missions in and around Eglin. Working behind the scenes, our investigations team, and often partnered with our canine team, thanks to the popularity of our location, there's never a shortage of drug activity. And so whether it's in the form of searching buildings on base, vehicles entering the gate, there's always a need. And so the team is definitely busy. While performing these functions, the unit maintains a healthy deployment posture, regularly sending out 10% of the unit across the globe, which is why maintaining a combat-ready force with proficiency in shooting, physical fitness, and other specialties is critical. The deployment posture only helps to underline the need for the team to conduct training. Whether it's responding to a bomb threat, active shooter scenario, or someone in distress in base housing, on the range or on the roads, training is a huge part of maintaining proficiency and ensures the team gets the big issues right. There are many more roles the unit supports for the installation to include anti-terrorism expertise, pass and registration, alarm monitoring, which I think there's about 500 alarms with D monitors, across the base for buildings and munitions storage complex, and many more. Finally, I just want to touch on some of the initiatives fielded under Colonel Shaw's watch, especially the modernization of facilities and the equipment the defenders need. We moved the base defense operations center over to the new emergency control center. We're building a new haul road gate, vehicle entry control point. We fielded roughly 400, a little over 400 new M18s and M4A1s. Those are our weapons that we use, and added new vehicles to the fleet. So not just about taking care of the mission, but looking to see how we can also take care of the equipment that we use and the places that we operate out of. And there's a lot more that I'm sure Rob will say that we could have gotten done. It's a never-ending story. And so also I know Rob personally cares for the members of his team, and it shows in their performance. Over the last 2 years, the unit has produced 14 airmen below the zone, 12 group level winners, 8 wing level winners, 8 MATCHCOM level winners, and 2 Air Force level winners, with the unit culminating this past year in AFMC Security Forces Squadron of the Year. I would say it's been a successful command, and I want to wish Rob and his family, I want to wish Rob and Debbie best of luck as they transition to F.E. Warren to be the Deputy Group Commander of the Security Forces Group. But now looking forward, will Major Clements have a lot on his plate? And I would say yes. And then the next question I would ask, is he ready? And so looking at his records, which includes a long history of being recognized as a superior officer with impressive stratifications to match, multiple deployments, a valued perspective is not just a former brat, which I can sympathize, but also a perspective from both an enlisted and officer point of view. Just completing a successful tour at F.E. Warren as a Security Forces Squadron Commander, where a base has with a base that has a no-fail nuclear mission. I would say he has a skill set to get after a different challenge that England presents. And with the help of and support of Liz and the entire family, I think he has all the support necessary to succeed. And so with that, I just say, let's press.
Thank you, Colonel Black. The Meritorious Service Medal was established by Executive Order 11448 on January 16, 1969. It is awarded to the members of the Armed Forces of the United States who distinguish themselves by either outstanding achievement or meritorious service to the United States. This award was established as the counterpart of the Bronze Star Medal for recognition of meritorious non-combat service. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the Meritorious Service Medal.
Andre, Hedge, Hut!
Attention to orders. This is to certify that the Air Force Meritorious Service Medal, 5th Oak Leaf Cluster, is presented to Lieutenant Colonel Robert R. Shaw, Jr. for meritorious service 1 July 2020 to 29 June 2022. Lieutenant Colonel Robert R. Shaw distinguished himself by meritorious service as the commander, 96 Security Forces Squadron, 96 Mission Support Group, 96 Test Wing, Eglin Air Force Base, Florida. During this period, Lieutenant Colonel Shaw commanded 550 military and civilian personnel, providing law enforcement support for the Air Force's large installation. He led integrated defense with federal and local law enforcement agencies responsible for the 724 square mile range, 156-mile shoreline, and 2,600 miles of roadway. Additionally, he deployed 9 defenders in less than 24 hours to support Operation Allies Welcome, sheltering 20,000 displaced Afghans during a historic mission. Lieutenant Colonel Shaw pioneered security for the Secretary of Defense's Intel Spring Operation Orientation Program, safeguarding 106 distinguished visitors while uniting the U.S. with 21 nation partners. Furthermore, he advanced mental health capabilities by being the first security forces unit within the Air Force Material Command to embed a dedicated counselor, proving critical while the unit mourned the loss of 5 fallen defenders. Finally, Lieutenant Colonel Shaw, leadership and guidance, catapulted the unit into garnering over 40 award wins, spanning every level of command, and being awarded Air Force Material Command's Outstanding Active Duty Large Security Forces Squadron for 2021. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Lieutenant Colonel Shaw reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Signed, Brigadier General Scott A. King.
Stand, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Parade, cut!
It is my honor to present the commander of the 96th Security Forces Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Robert R. Shaw, Jr.
Good morning. So this is actually a true statement. So obviously we've been in COVID times during the last 2 years pandemic. I'm kind of literally worried that we might not have enough defenders out on the range, because this is the most defenders I've seen in one location during my whole change of command. So it's pretty impressive. So again, General Kane, thank you for coming. Colonel Moreland, Colonel Stewart, the Woodcocks, thank you, Colonel Woodcock, for all your support and everything. Has been great this the last few months. So also to my wife and the Major Clements family, glad to have you guys here as well. So great just to see the Defender family. So also all the extra commanders, chiefs, family and friends, and then most definitely the defenders of 96 SFS. So again, I want to thank everybody that helped out with this the ceremonies that we had. Sergeant Haldane doing the kind of honcho on the whole thing, but a lot of other hands were in it. For the venue, great venue, right? We got the beach and our SF vehicles, our Marine Patrol out there. So I want to thank Leslie Thompson, the club manager. I know Tech Sergeant Jones was supposed to sing the national anthem. I think something happened with that today, but he did a great job of practice yesterday. He got missed out on it, but it was very impressive. So again, 31 years ago, nearly went to basic training, came off the bus as an airman basic. So be here in this position, fourth squadron command is definitely humbling and an awesome experience. And all those previous commands were helpful in prepping me for what I would see here, what I would deal with here. So again, I want to thank my Lord and Savior as well, and kind of got a verse I got to throw out there. Hebrews 1. Let us run the race with endurance. The race that is set before us, and that's definitely what you need as a commander, but also as defenders out there. You got to have that endurance for your military career. So I want to thank my parents, my brother. Obviously, grew up with my dad, so he gave me the tools, the skills, the abilities, the values that translated really easily to Air Force values, those core values. So that was great. Wish they could have been here. They're from Washington State, Idaho, so that's kind of a long trip. So hopefully they're on virtually. Honor Guard, great job with the Honor Guard as well. Chaplain Lee, I don't know if he had to take off, but if he's back there, thank you for not only the invocation, but the friendship, the encouragement. He is a great chaplain that helped out the squadron, and we had a great friendship while he was here. Okay, Sergeant Black, thank you for being the troop commander, stepping up. That's awesome as well. So when I got here, so even before I got to England, I wanted to know the history of the unit. I wanted to know what they were all about, what was their identity, their mascot, what was it about the security forces that made them defenders and made them proud to be in the 96 Security Forces Squadron. So unfortunately, I did not find a lot. I was Googling things, looking around, trying to figure out what was this squadron about. And I got here and found that we didn't even have a squadron patch. That there was nothing really for bringing the unit together. So had some folks do some history. We talked to the base historian. Come to find out our unit patch was approved in 2003, but nobody had taken the effort to actually get the patches made up. So we rallied around that. We started with that, and then we just continued to build on that with recognition. Our awards now are little knights, and we rallied around that pride and professionalism of the knights, and we continue to do more with that. So, and then really, when I came in, I wanted to keep it simple, right? It was with the mantra "lead, defend, win." So that's what we did. That was our vision going forward. So when we talk about leadership and leading, I always say it's everybody in the unit, because that A1C that's out at the gate, they're a leader. The NCOs that are on flight, the flight chiefs, they're leading those very large flights, 40, 50, 60, 70 people when you start adding the military and the civilian. So they led, we obviously with deployments and all the movements, so we had, I had the Fantastic Four, that's what I call it, the senior master sergeants, because we did have Chief Lambert for a short period of time, but then it was basically four senior master sergeants and literally like myself and maybe one other FSS officer. So we didn't have a whole bench of officers and senior NCOs, but those individuals, Senior Master Sergeant Freeman, Senior Master Sergeant McCracken, Sherry Barnshaw, and Senior Master Sergeant Poole, our current first sergeant, all did a great job through many challenges. So also my fellow commanders, they helped in that effort. So I see Tony and Brandon and Claude here from COM. Appreciate you guys. Austin Barnes back there as well. Just helping out, being that sounding board, being able to vent every couple of weeks. We'd get together for lunch and just kind of, hey, what's going on and everything. So definitely great there. So next, I asked the defenders to defend. We talked about that pride. Pride in the squadron, but also pride in the Air Force, pride in that name, pride of defending your family, taking that to heart, and then we're representing that night pride and representing the badge of gray when they're out doing the mission. So whether it was on duty or off duty, they did a great job at that. So they all-weather defenders. We didn't get to come in when we had 7 named storms in 2021. We had Hurricane Sally. A third of the squadron was cut off from up in Crestview, unable to come to the unit. So we had to deal with that, the damage, all those alarms that Colonel Black, you mentioned, were going off like crazy. So that caused us to have to be kind of everywhere and managing that kind of stuff. So over 20 gate runners, probably more. That's just the number that we could capture. But what isn't captured is the hundreds of unauthorized, uncredentialed, non-base affiliated that come to our gate every day and are turned around. So we don't keep stats on that, although the headquarters Air Force has made a new policy where we have to report the turnarounds now. If they don't have ID, if they unauthorized, or they have suspicious material in their vehicle, we have to report that stuff. So So we're coming around their wants and warrants, at least 75 or more. So we're getting a couple, 3 of those a week. And DUIs, 35 DUIs. So our guys were keeping Team England safe so that they could sleep, they could recover, and get the mission done, whatever mission that was on England. So they did a great job there. And then also partnering with those 9 wings. So Colonel Stewart from the SOMSG, working with them and his folks. Some of his folks actually supported us and get them on orders, and they work for us. And then Chief Badge from Fort Walton Beach, doesn't look like he made it, but we had a good relationship with him. Chief Popwell at Niceville. Quick story, I was with him, we were enlisted together at Vandenberg Air Force Base. So back when I was a senior airman and he was a master sergeant. So we have that connection, and we've been able to continue that on. Okay, and the last one, win, right? I asked defenders to win at whatever they were doing, whatever base defense scenario, at all costs and in every situation. So whether it was a duty position evaluation, get certified for their job, whether it was education, whether it was professional military education, family, community, getting out there volunteering, it was winning at everything they did. A lot of awards were mentioned. I will just mention a couple. Air Force Key Spouse of the Year 2019, Blacks in Government Award, Senior Burden. First Sergeant of the Year at Test Center, that was Sergeant McCracken. You already heard the Outstanding Large Unit for AFMC. And then, again, working through COVID and COVAX. Teleworking doesn't work for security forces, right? So we can't telework. So we worked through all those challenges, had to get things done. So no matter what I asked of the Defender team, they were able to step up and do that. So I'm almost done. I'm going to just close here real quick. So 740 days ago, I took command. 10 days later into that command, we lost one of our civilian defenders. Additionally, we lost 4 in 17-month period. We lost 4 defenders. So as a commander, I definitely carried that. And, we came together as a team. Command is not an individual, it's a team sport. We couldn't have done it without the team and everybody together. But I will definitely carry them. I won't forget them, their families, and the pain that we felt during that time. So I'm going to just read their names off real quick and the end of watch date. So Officer Michael Scroggins, end of watch. Senior Airman Drew Henson, 1 January 2021. A1C Maya Oliver. My wife told me not to cry, so I apologize. 31 May 2021. Tech Sergeant Michael Barron, 11 August 2021. Staff Sergeant William Roy, 10 November 2021. Just take a quick moment of silence. Okay, good. All right. Again, thank you, defenders. My wife, of course, she's my rock and takes care of me, make sure I'm ready to go. To you, Eddie, you're going to do great here. Look forward to seeing everything you're going to do for the unit, taking us to the next level. So it'll be exciting to follow you. Congratulations to you as well. All right, thank you.
Defenders! Ready to defend!
The men and women of the 96th Security Forces Squadron will now say farewell by honoring Lieutenant Colonel Shaw with a final salute as their squadron commander.
Squadron, take heart! Present heart! Sir, it was an honor serving under you. The 96th Security Forces Squadron wishes you the best of luck to you and your family. Order! Heart!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the change of command ceremony.
Policy order.
Attention to orders. The Department of the Air Force, Headquarters Air Force Material Command, Special Order 22-268. Major Forces Squadron, Eglin Air Force Base, Florida, effective 29 June 2022. Signed, Colonel Kenneth L. Black.
Sir, I relinquish command. Sir, I assume command.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Parade! Heart!
Ladies and gentlemen, I present the commander of the 96th Security Forces Squadron, Major John E. Clemens III.
Right. Morning, everyone.
Morning.
So thanks for the time, taking the time to be here. It's really show of just the support to this squadron. I want to thank Sergeant Haldane and his team. Often we forget all the little things that are going on behind the scenes, all that it took to put this together, to have everybody on time. Things happen, like the national anthem, right? But just like defenders do, we figured it out. So thank you to Sergeant Haldane and his team. Now I want to go through and just kind of thank some of the leadership. Again, I've been here for like 2 minutes, right? Just learned where the bathroom was. But Brigadier General Payne, I know Chief Temple couldn't be here, but sir, thank you for the vote of confidence and giving me the opportunity to command again. It's a huge honor and privilege. Colonel Black, sir, thank you. It was great to sit down with you before this, kind of get an idea of your background and get some initial guidance. I know we're not going to get to spend a lot of time together, but I look forward to a little bit of time that we do get in order for me to help shape the future, as you put it. I know Chief Page couldn't be here, but I know that there's a great partnership with Fort Walton, and I'm looking forward to building on that, continuing that success. Colonel Shaw, after spending just a short time with you, I can tell the professionalism and all the things that you've left behind, the imprint that you've left on the unit. It's an honor to take the guide on from you. And I know, like you said, command is a team sport. So I know, Debbie, you were there supporting every step of the way, just as my family does the same thing. So I know that doesn't happen on its own. So thank you, sir, for what you've built, and I look forward to contributing to it. Liz, my wife. So I was joking around with her. We tried to do a vacation to Yellowstone. If anybody's been looking at the news, Yellowstone is not in good shape. So we went there, and we were able to get out of there just in time. But I always joke around about that T-shirt that says, "I'm sorry what I said when we were setting up camp." Right? But I want to get a shirt that says, "I'm sorry what I said" in back-to-back commands. Because I know this is going to be another tough 2 years for us. To my kids, 3 of them are going to be in high school this year. That's a big deal. You guys impress me every single day with how you approach each one of these moves. I know it's not easy.
I know I give you the, well, I did it when I was a kid, and you guys don't want to hear that. Because it's not the same. It's not the same. But I truly appreciate the way you guys have approached this. And it's meant a lot to me, just how adaptable you are. All right, to the Knights, to the 96th Security Forces Squad. It is an honor and truly a privilege to join such a recognized and decorated unit. A team of defenders that you've already heard all of the accolades, you've heard just the mass of this mission, right? Everything they're supporting on every front, from the waterfront to the airfield, I could go down the same list that Colonel Black did, but it is impressive. Watching from afar, paying attention to social media, paying attention to some of the news of the weapons that this base is testing, and the fact that we support in so many different facets to ensure that those near peers out there are a little scared. That got me excited. That got me really excited to come and see security forces in action in this location. Before arriving, it was to me, you're always trying to get a pulse for how the unit works, and again, got a few of those Knights popped up, so that was good to see that identity, and I can't wait to get after it in this unit. So with that, let's go.
The men and women of the 96th Security Forces Squadron will now welcome Major Clements with a first salute as their squadron commander.
Squadron, hit, present, march! Sir, the 96th Security Forces Squadron welcomes you and look forward to serving alongside you.
It's an honor to join the team.
Order, march!
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the participants and their families, we thank you for attending the 96th Security Forces Squadron Change of Command. Please stand for the singing of the Air Force song and departure of the official party.
Just like 6 more words.
This concludes our ceremony. Please take a moment to proceed through the receiving line to wish Major Clements and his family good luck as the new 96th Security Forces Squadron Commander. Thank you for attending.
Squadron, district!
Don't move. Don't move.